Hi, my name is Colin SkipperWing Bird, and welcome to a special subset of SkipperWing Draws a Thing, process videos for the Crimson Fly animated comic strip. Today's strip, issue 3, strip number 37. So, this strip, I feel like I keep saying this, but it's true, is special for a number of reasons. For one thing, for the thumbnail, I decided to go with a more traditional method of drawing in Flash, which is to just use the brush as it's normally done, rather than trying to create a sort of pencil sketch the way that one would in Photoshop. And there's a trick to the other method, which is to turn down the alpha of the color that you're using, and then turn on object mode by hitting J, and that creates a object of each stroke, which allows you to sort of imitate Photoshop, or just a raster program in general. It's sort of how Toon Boom works, except that Toon Boom's version is much simpler and less complicated. And that's normally how I work for my thumbnails. However, most professional artists I see on YouTube or social media usually just do it traditionally, which is just to have the regular outline and then do it as close to a pencil sketch as possible. And that's never really worked for me because I'm not one of those artists who can simply work with an outline. I need to have an underdrawing, but I figured I'd try it out and see if it would make me a better artist. Today's strip is also special for some other reasons. For one, as you can see, it's also a little bit of a recap strip. And I'm kind of hesitant on recap, mostly because when done poorly, it's very lazy. I mean, for this one, all I did was just copy and paste old frames from old strips. Not a lot of work in there. The other thing that can hurt a recap strip is that in webcomics, every strip is someone's first strip. You can never guarantee that somebody isn't reading your strip for the very first time. And so it has to be clear every strip that it's something that somebody can get into. Which really isn't fair. I mean, imagine coming in 30 minutes or 45 minutes into Lord of the Rings, and then expecting to be interested in Frodo and Gandalf and all of them during the middle of a battle. But that's how webcomics are. You have to be ready for anybody to jump in at any single point, and every strip has to be a selling point. And horn tooting aside, well, rather, actually horn tooting, I think this strip does a really good job of that. But it could have gone a lot more poorly. Another reason this strip is special is because puppets are back! Yay! But this time, instead of actually making a special symbol are the sort of mini compositions that serve as the format for puppets in Flash, instead of making a symbol, I decided to put all the puppet elements in a folder instead, on the main timeline. And what this allows me to do is allows me to work with all the elements on the same timeline rather than having the puppet's timeline be perfectly synced up and then having to guess at what the proper timing is. And I think it worked really well for this particular strip, but I can also see it getting really convoluted in the future. It also worked really well for this strip because the character who is a puppet doesn't have a lot of actions. I mean, it's the old man, he's just turning. With the Crimson Fly, he's flipping all over the place and every pose is unique. So in that situation, it didn't really make sense to have him be a puppet. Instead, it just made sense to just do it completely traditional. And that's both the great and horrible thing about Flash. There's no right or wrong way to do anything. Only what looks good. If it looks good, it's right. If it doesn't, it's wrong. And that makes learning Flash both very easy and hard at the same time, because you never know if there's an easier way to do things. But once you do, oh man, you feel so much better. One of the fun things about this particular strip was that there was despite the old elements coming back, like the puppets and the old strips, there was also a lot of experimentation. I honestly wasn't sure that bringing back these old panels would 100% work. Or even if they did work in their original format, that they would work with this new one. But that's the fun thing about doing these strips. You're always learning something new. And I hope that you guys are enjoying it as much as I am. And that's it for today's video. If you want to see this strip in its true format, please click the links in the annotations and cards. If you're new, please like and subscribe for more content. This is Colin SkipperWing Bird signing out. I'll catch you peeps later.